The Credible Nerds present The Fourth Taviran, a Wheel of Time podcast.
Where next?
The Two Rivers. There are rumors of 4 Taviran there. All the right age.
That's us.
The old blood runs deep in those mountains. Let's hope it's prepared them for what's coming.
Are you prepared for what's coming, Wheel of Time fans? We are the Fourth Taviran podcast. And no, we're not Egwene or Nynaeve or anybody else. We are Justin. We are better. My name is Justin, and we got my fellow Taviran with me once again, Kyle and Mark. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Good to be here.
Doing good, because we're the actual Fourth Taviran.
Yes.
So.
We were the Fourth Taviran before there were 4.
It's true.
Actually 5, right?
It's true. I guess there's 5 in the show.
Yeah. It's interesting that it was 4, then it was 5, and now there's 6, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, that's a different podcast. We have talked about the show's season 2 is coming up. And so they have released a new trailer. We'll be talking about that this time. Getting into it a little bit. We have not watched any or listened to any other podcasts. So these opinions are strictly our own. No influence whatsoever. And so if there are some similarities, maybe it's just because we're all fans of Wheel of Time. But the trailer dropped yesterday. So I've watched it a couple times, and you guys have as well. So we will be talking about that. Definitely go back and check out our season 1 reviews of the season 1 episodes. Most of them are on our audio feed, as we hadn't started doing the video podcast yet, but I think maybe the last 1 or 2 are. They should be here on this YouTube channel, so check those out. And since you are watching, please subscribe to our channel. It helps us out a lot, doesn't cost you anything, and you can be notified of future content as we drop it. So please do so. It takes like 5 seconds, if that. But thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And if you have any comments, definitely make them in the comment section down below. But the trailer for season 2, September 1st, 2023 comes out this next season. It's been a couple years since the last season dropped, right? So it'll be interesting to see if it's worth the wait. I hope so. But so we'll just be watching the trailer, stopping it, and talking about the different things that we're seeing. And you guys feel free to jump in and make your comments and points, and we'll just do that. So here we go. We start off with Moraine, and everyone has a choice. And then we see the White Tower. We get an aerial view here of the White Tower as well as Tar Valon. Again, looking great. We talked about it last time. I like this version of the White Tower. It's a little shorter than I expected, but still pretty impressive overall.
Pretty grandiose. Like the sets are fantastic.
Yeah. So we got Moraine in a bath. So it's good to bring up that she was stilled or burned herself out, I think is the right. Because I don't think Balzaman stilled her as necessarily. She just burned herself out. Is that kind of what we remember?
I think so. I thought it was as a result of something that Balzaman did, though.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's what I thought. Like taught her like a lesson or something,
Okay.
Yeah.
He shielded her, right? At first.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I wonder too. Now that you've said that, I wonder if he just shielded her, and tied it off.
Tied it off, yeah.
As opposed to stealing her, right? Because there's a difference,
Mm-hmm.
and because we all thought like, what a crazy, left turn from the actual book.
Mm-hmm.
We've had some differences, but this is a completely different thing. So now I wonder. Maybe he just shielded her, and we'll see Rand untie it. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe. That's still very different than what happened in the book, as we discussed. But it's closer.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah. You just can't hamstring the one of the main characters in the first season, right? Because her power is such a big deal.
Oh yeah,
throughout the story. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah, I like that theory. Good one. What do you guys think about this voiceover this song playing. The music. I don't like it.
I thought it. I kind of thought the only reason I really liked it is because I mean, we see a lot of scenes in throughout this, and some of them I have a hard time like really putting down where in the book this would be or what's it reflecting. But what I did get out of it is it kind of made me feel like shit's about to get real, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what it made.
It is dramatic, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like almost like this hopelessness feeling. We need a hero, and where you at?
Okay.
Yeah. That was kind of the notion I got as well. I wasn't a huge fan of the song selection either, but for the most part, I mean, I guess it depends on what the message was they were trying to get across. Is it, to your point, Mark, the message that things are about to get bad and so we need a hero, or is it the kind of the individualism message of today's political climate? And so hopefully it's what you mentioned, Mark, because that's the point of the story.
Yeah. Okay. Then here we got a scene with Rand from behind with his black coat on, and I'm guessing there's two ways I look at this, because from what we see later on, he's like tied to this wheel later on,
right,
in this same environment, this desert environment. So is this the waste? Is it the borderlands, the blights maybe? Where is this, first of all? And is this perhaps maybe one of those Teleron Rioid, or there's different dimensions type areas? I don't know. It's just the stark landscape with nothing. So it immediately got me thinking, where is he? Is it this? Is it that? So
yeah.
I liked it.
I think it's one of the mirror worlds we're going to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense.
It did cross my mind, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if that was the case.
Yeah, as that plays a major role in the second book. So,
yeah. So we got a Murdral and Baalzamon. We saw, right? This is the guy we saw in the last season, right?
Yeah.
So pretty cool scene. And we got, is that Nynaeve in the white dress pulling some weaves?
Is that Nynaeve or Egwene?
I don't know. I can't really see the angle of the TV.
It might be.
Yeah, that's Egwene.
That's Egwene.
Yeah. Okay, my bad. It's kind of at an angle there. I like the weaves.
I imagine the white, right? What we're seeing, that's spirit. Is that what you get out of it?
Mm-hmm.
She's weaving spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Did they differentiate the different weaves in this? Because it looked like, I remember in the previous season, all the weaves looked very similar. I thought. I could be misremembering though.
Mm-hmm.
You might be right. Right. When I see the white, I always imagine spirit.
Oh yeah, I do too. Yeah, absolutely. But she's definitely in her novice dress there. You can see.
Yeah, she's at the tower practicing. This could be like in her testing, because we see some of that later. So it could be the same time.
Yeah.
Liandrin looking badass. Oh. So we see the Black Ajah right off the bat, right? 13 of, I'm assuming there's 13 people there, hooded, dark robes, right? In secret, it looks like.
So is that the Black Ajah, or is that like Dark Friend meeting? I bet it's the Black Ajah.
Yeah, because the Dark Friend meeting was just, they were all in a big room standing. Well,
right.
But this is the show, so who knows?
Maybe that doesn't mean anything at this point, but
yeah,
that's a good point.
But I counted them. There's 13.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming, and it's kind of the same environment, dark stone, as we just saw Egwene in.
Yeah.
The tower, sounds like, or it looks like. So that's what I'm guessing. I hope they would be smart to go there to bring up the Black Ajah as soon as possible, or soon.
That doesn't look like the tower though, right? Because you see all the fireplaces.
Mm-hmm.
So this might, instead of doing that big boars meeting room, this might be a version of that, maybe.
Kind of like what you said, Kyle.
Yeah, that could be.
I don't think it's that meeting though. Because why would there be 13 hooded people instead of? Because at the boars meeting there was a ton of them.
Yeah, I mean there was a ton. I guess we don't actually know how many, right?
True.
But it did say the room was full, and there's Midril there, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Trollocs.
So I mean I don't know. Yeah, it kind of strange though. But I mean 13 is significant, right? So kind of interesting.
Yep.
We'll see. That was what I got out of it. I'd be happy if it was the other, if it was the meeting in the prologue. I think that's a cool scene too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What is this?
Yeah. So first of all, we saw Balsamon channeling. We saw his weaves, which are different. And then it cuts to this scene of this like creature. Shoot, I missed it. I can't find it. Yeah. This creature is kind of kneeling and stands up and is covered in blood or some type of weird liquid. And I don't know who it is. And I don't remember, is it a new character or is it perhaps... so Nynaeve goes through the Aes Sedai testing first to be accepted.
Yeah.
So maybe that's her in there in that other environment, the other dimension.
That could be.
Or because it's a woman, at least a long hair, feminine type shape. So I don't know.
That could be. I mean, they go through disturbing things in the tests and other stuff like that to become Aes Sedai and accepted.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, that could definitely be what it is. I was hoping it wasn't that they decided that everybody should now have, necromancy powers at this point. But
yeah, it is that kind of that feel for sure. But we do see Egwene coming through from the arches later on in the trailer, and she has her white dress on and there's blood on it, right?
Yeah.
So, but that doesn't mean, because they change clothes and stuff in that testing world.
Right.
So it doesn't really matter. But yeah, this is like the one thing in the trailer, like, what is that? I don't know. I can't figure it out. Do you have any thoughts, Mark? Or
yeah, the only random thing I could think of, because if you look, right, she's standing up and you see somebody kind of in the corner standing there, right?
I don't know.
Watch it again. So you watch it, right? She's standing up, she reaches out, but right before she reaches out, you can kind of see someone just to the right of her.
Oh, yeah.
See
coming from the foreground.
That looks, yeah. If you look at 26 seconds in, do you see Baalzamin standing there?
Back it up. 26. Yeah. Is that the same room?
I don't know if it's the same room, but I wonder if that's Baalzamin waiting for Lanfear to come out to get released, right? Like, it's not like they were all released at once, right? They kind of came out over time, and so I'm wondering if he kind of figured out when they come out, and he's waiting for her. Like, all right, we got a plan. We got to get this right.
I like that idea.
Oh, that would make sense given the environment.
Yeah. Yeah, because it goes from him to her. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can kind of see the hand, how it's like a suit-like figure, right? He's wearing a suit or something. And so, I mean, obviously it's really vague. You can't quite tell, but that's what I thought.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
If that is the Forsaken coming out of the boar or they're in prison, that's a pretty cool visual.
As I say, that's way cool.
Yeah, I like that, if that's how it is. Either way, it's a cool visual, but if that's the meaning behind it, that's okay. I give them 100% props on that. That's pretty awesome. All right.
Yeah, right. Because it's like, how did they? It never explains. We never see how they come out. Like you said, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty neat. So that's what I thought, and I know that's kind of left field, but I was like, that's what I imagined.
Yeah, I like it.
That's the show. It's basically all left field. So any theory works.
Yeah, they are pretty. They have been really good last season, anyways, with showing stuff that we read about off screen, but and then showing us on screen. They like with a lot of scenes at the beginning. I really liked that. So this could be one of those scenes. Awesome. Okay. All right, Sean Chan, right?
Sean Chan.
100%.
Yeah. I like their armor. We see a lot of it in the trailer.
The interesting thing for me is the mouth piece that they're wearing. Like, you have the idom, right, which is the collar, right, that with the the thing that connects to the Sul'dam's wrist, right? Mm-hmm. But the mouthpiece.
Well, we talked about it in the last season's episodes where we were speculating, well, they're probably not going to do a collar because that has implications of slavery and things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm thinking the mouthpiece is the replacement for the collar.
That could be.
Or maybe it's that they do have like a neck thing and a shoulder pad, like a football.
It's like a shoulder, like a neck armor piece or something.
Yeah.
Right?
So it could be that or a combination of both.
Because in the books, they do notate that the chain doesn't have to be there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, because in the books, typically it's a chain between the neck and the bracelet, right? But when they catch Moghedien, right, the chain's broken and they can still control Moghedien. Mm-hmm. And so, is it Moghedien?
Moghedien.
Yeah.
I say Moghedien.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, anyways, but yeah. So that could be the case, right?
Yeah. But they would have, why, like you said, why the mouthpiece? So I think that has to be part of it, if not the replacement, because otherwise it's pointless.
Yep.
So, yeah. But I like it. And you see these women channeling. Let's see.
Looks like wind.
I'm assuming that's Falm and the citizens of Falm. Mm-hmm. You got Egwene going into the testing. There's only one arch, though.
It looked cool, though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at it, you can see other arches, right? Like
can you?
When she's standing there, about to go in, you can see one on the left and kind of one on the right.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Let's see.
Replay.
Right there?
Yeah, no, I could see that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, maybe Okay, yeah. At the top, there's like a circle.
Right, and then over here on the left, just right out of the shadow.
Yeah.
That looks like another one.
Cool. I like it. Yeah, I'm curious about this testing scene because I liked it.
Yeah.
That's
Is that Nynaeve?
I think so, yeah. Looks like Nynaeve.
So I have a question. We didn't see too much, but we know from past Game of Thrones and shows like that, they like to show a lot of boobies and things like that,
a lot of sex.
Get audiences excited. Yeah. Obviously, so during the testing, we know from the book that they get naked to do the testing. Do you think Amazon Prime goes there, to, I don't know, entice watchers, right? Because that just seems almost like sexualizing the whole thing is part of it, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. I don't think they do, given today's political climate. I think you look at shows like, what was it? The most recent Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, right? House of the Dragon, yeah. Significantly less nudity in House of the Dragon, right? Definitely some at the very beginning, but much, much, much less. And so I would bet that they kind of take a similar stride in this, in that, yes, perhaps there will be nudity, but it won't be explicit. Mm-hmm. That's my opinion, just given today's.
Like you'll see them disrobe and you'll see their butt or something.
Maybe.
Shadowed, right? Nothing, like you said, nothing explicit. But it's Amazon Prime, so it's different than HBO. HBO's known for a lot of nudity throughout the years. But the only Prime shows I have seen recently have been Jack Reacher and the new Jack Ryan. And there isn't, if any, I don't recall seeing much nudity in those shows.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
So I would bet they imply,
Oh yeah,
but they don't show anything.
yeah. Okay. All right.
Which I'm cool with. I mean,
Yeah.
if they imply, that's perfect. You know.
Either way. Okay. And you got, looks like the Waste, or no, Borderlands. Because the Borderlands from last season were pretty deserty, right? Rocky hills and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's Perrin and people on a horse. Okay. This is the scene that stood out to me. Rand and some unknown woman with dark hair.
That's got to be Lanfear.
What do you think, Mark?
It's Lanfear. I actually when you messaged it, right?
Yeah.
I wrote back. I'm like, I don't buy that as Min, right? I'm not buying.
Yeah.
I was thinking it might be Min, but I looked up the actress, and it is definitely Lanfear. So I just imagine that's her at the Portal Stones or whatever.
Yeah.
As Celine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, so when they went through the portal stones, through that whole world, it was Rand, Huron, and Loyal, right? First.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because they fell asleep by the portal stone and it transported them.
Right.
And then Celine finds them in that world. Do you think we'll see Huron based on what we've seen?
I hope so, and I hope he has a huge nose.
Yeah.
He won't, but I hope so.
That's a good question. That's as much as they're writing out.
Yeah.
Right? That would be somebody that, I mean, cool character, does a lot of neat things, but you could easily rewrite that somewhere else, right? Kind of shove it in. If you're going to write something out, I think he's a pretty legitimate person to write out, because we know they're not nostalgic, right? They don't want to bring the nostalgia in. We've already missed some great parts for that.
Right.
And so I feel like if you're going to go nostalgic at all, Huron's not the place that you're going to, hang your hat on.
Yeah. They might not even go to the Portal Stones worlds, the mirror worlds, just because it might be confusing, or it might just be them wandering.
Right. I mean, it implies at the end of season 1 that Rand's alone.
Yeah.
Like that nobody's with Rand, and so it could just be Lanfear trying to seduce Rand by himself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he leaves. Balsamon gets Lanfear. Says, "Hey, the dragon, he's here. Luce Darren Taliman Reborn, he's here."
Right.
So she's like, "Oh, where?" So then she finds him, and then they cross the land to go to Falm, just those two.
That could be.
Yeah.
That could be.
Because Loyal's dead. Right?
Yeah. Loyal's already dead.
So
along with
he's not going to be there.
So is Lord Agelmar. So,
yeah, Agamar, Uno.
all the important people, they're all dead.
Yeah.
So who needs them?
Yeah.
Massima.
Right. Yeah, Massima's dead too, isn't he?
Yeah.
Surprised Lan made it through.
Yeah.
I mean, who needs to talk about the prophet?
Yeah. So yeah, Lanfear. Again, just she's not the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. It's her and Elayne. We talked about this last time, I think. Her and Elayne were like 10s in the Wheel of Time world.
Right.
And I mean, she's good looking, and I wouldn't say she's ugly, and she's attractive, but she's not the Lanfear that you imagine while reading the books.
Yeah.
Which is weird because Rand is, like a lot of the characters are. You can see it in them, but this is like totally different. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
White Tower. Oh, this is another thing. Go ahead, Mark.
What do you? Sorry, I was just gonna say, what do you guys think? Hear me out,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Elayne, right? What do you guys think? Like Selma Hayek.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, yes, but she's a little older.
But
Elayne
isn't
seemed young.
Elayne a little older?
She was older than Perrin.
Maybe, I don't know, Selma Hayek or like Alexandra Daddario.
Oh yeah.
See, I thought about Alexandra Daddario, and I think she'd be great. I just don't think she could act it well.
That's a
Yeah.
good point.
She doesn't have that. She doesn't have that refined, womanly, thing. Like I don't get that vibe from her, where I do get it from like a Selma Hayek.
Definitely Salma Hayek.
Yeah.
Or my first thought was Monica Bellucci, or from the Matrix, the second Matrix.
Oh.
The white dress. That's
Yes, I could see that.
yeah. So, but here we have Rand walking the White Tower, and we have a scene later where he meets the Amerlin seat. So that's definitely not in the books.
That's very different. He didn't want to go to the White Tower.
Yeah, that's the last place he wanted to go.
Hmm.
So we got a cool scene with the Amerlin seat, Swan, Sanche, Moraine, Lan, saying you got to guide Rand. That's cool. I like it. And then we see Rand channeling with the one power, but it's different than Balzamon's streams, his weaving. His was more like a greenish, whitish.
Yeah, green, silvery.
Yeah. And this is golden. You can see the black in there mixed in with the gold threads.
Yeah.
So I like that visualization. Pretty cool. But this is probably him channeling for the first time or one of the first times. And he's like, what is going on? You know, am I going to go crazy? All that stuff.
Hmm.
Hopper?
That's got to be Hopper.
Yeah.
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 I kind of wished Hopper was a little bigger.
Yeah.
But
kind of dire wolfish.
Dire wolfish. Yeah, exactly. Kind of looks more like a normal
puppy.
like a dog, right?
Yeah.
And so, but I'm excited about Hopper.
Yeah. Perrin and Hopper. Do you think this scene here is in the dream world?
No, because Hopper's not dead yet.
Yeah, we didn't see him get killed, huh?
But does that
Right.
mean it? I don't know. I mean, they I don't know. That's a good point. As I say, does that really mean anything in the show?
That's true. Correct. Yep. They're probably on the moon. I forget what we're talking about. But yeah, no, I don't think so, right? Because chronologically, he's alive for a while.
True. Okay, so then we got Rand grabbing Moraine with the power. That's surprising.
Yeah, Rand was never physically violent towards Moraine.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He definitely had sharp disagreements, but never physically violent towards Moraine.
And his fits of outbursts like that, they didn't happen until after when he was boxed up. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lord
Do
of
My
Chaos.
Wells. It wasn't until after Do My Wells that he kind of got violent like that.
Right.
Yeah. We got Egwene with some blood and Nynaeve with some blood.
Is she in a Adam? Or she's got the Adam on, right?
In this scene?
Does she
the
have
one.
an Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Egwene
See
does.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Egwene. Okay.
So yeah, she doesn't have the mouthpiece. So maybe it is just kind of the football pad thing. Shoulder pads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. Matt and the knife. He seems to be in the same place as the 13 black-robed people were.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Looks similar.
Similar, yeah. Of course, the sets for Shadar Logoth and Tarvalon were the same set. So they just turned the lights off for the Shadar Logoth set.
He kind of looks like John Mayer in that picture right there.
Yeah.
They cast John Mayer as Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah, the knife aged him up.
Yeah. So we got Rand with Lanfear behind him, kind of teaching him. So we saw him with Swan we'll see him there at the tower, and we see him with Lanfear. Which comes first, do you think? Lanfear, and then he goes to the tower, or he goes to the tower and then he leaves and Lanfear shows up? And why is he at the tower in the first place?
I bet the tower comes second because I bet he confronts Moraine at the tower. Right? And Lanfear's already messed with him.
Kind of showing him how to...
Right? And you see that violent scene between him and Moraine. And I bet that's semi-Lanfear's doing.
Mm.
That's
Okay.
my thoughts.
I kind of wonder if we're thinking about this a little weird too, right? Because we
Okay.
know it's encompassing book 2 and going into book 3, right?
Yeah.
We know that he does the mirror worlds on his way to Falm,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm wondering if he goes to Tarvalin on his way from Falm to Tyr,
Huh? Yeah.
right? So he's already been to Falm. Like, we see him do the world flickering, so, we have Lanfear first, but then we're seeing scenes when he goes back, talks to Loghain, talks to these people on his way back. Because he doesn't do anything power-wise in Falm. Somebody plays an instrument, and, everything is solved that way, right? But Rand doesn't really do much there with the power until he claims the sword, right?
Yeah.
In book 3. So I'm wondering if he doesn't talk to Loghain, like the next scene we're going to look at here, until he's on his way back from Falm to Tyr.
So Falm so there's 8 episodes. So Falm would have to take place in the first 4 episodes, basically, or 5, 6 maybe, beginning half. Okay, yeah, I could see that.
So, and then this scene right here. What is so? Did they establish? I can't remember in season 1 that women cannot train men how to use the power.
I don't know if they established it.
Well, I think Moraine said it, right? She kind of said it.
She did
At the end there.
She did.
I don't even
Okay. So it could just be Rand figuring it out on his own with Lanfear poking or prodding, kind of a thing.
Yeah. And there was that part in book 3 when he runs away from Moraine and Min, and he goes to Tyr on his own, and he's being chased, and he's kind of he starts to descend into the madness, and he's like lashing out.
Yeah.
So maybe Lanfear's there during that part. Here we got an interesting scene that Mark alluded to. Loghain and Rand, it looks like at the tower, right? What do you guys think? What do you think, Mark? What's going on here? Besides the obvious.
Cool, right? I mean, it sounds like he's asking him how to channel. Right? It sounds like Osmodian is no more. Right? We will not go down Osmodian's road at all. Right? Because we know, teaches Rand. So we're seeing it here. He's asking, Loghain for tips and tricks and whatever else. So I think that he helps him, start it and kind of find his own path. But I also think we're going to write out the Osmodian story.
I hope not. I mean, because Asmodian helps him later in the books, right?
Book 4
or 5, right?
4, yeah, 5 maybe.
Yeah. I mean, you could be right, Mark. I hope not, though. I hope this is just a casual. What's up, Loghain? Heard you can channel.
You thought you were the dragon. I'm the dragon.
I'm the dragon.
I'm the dragon now, biatch. So, yeah, that'll be interesting to see. That I like that interaction. I wish it was in a different time on the timeline, but I like them talking. Here we got a pretty cool shot of the Shan Chan rolling into Falm, I'm assuming. You kind of got that 300 vibe with it was the King of Persia and his throne.
Yeah.
300 movie.
Okay, let me ask you a question here, right? You see him walking in, cool, they're all, bent knee and everything, all the people are down. Then you see, the next scene, right?
Okay, let me get to that.
You're talking 112.
With the 3 people.
That's Baalsman, right?
Yeah.
Am I on drugs?
Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
Right, that's Baalsman. And here's the next question. Is that Tuan or is that Suroth?
It's got to be Suroth. Because,
right.
it doesn't have to be anything, really. Who knows? But I'm guessing Suroth.
Yeah, right, because we know what happens with her. I didn't like the lacquered nails.
I didn't either.
I thought they'd actually be more like real type nails, not like these add-ons that are 2.5 feet long.
Like Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I assumed that I thought they started on the pinky and went in. not
That's what
started
I
on the
thought too.
forefinger.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, just making sure. I was like, huh.
Yeah. And I don't know why Balzamon's there.
Yeah. Like what? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. You got to have him do something, I guess. All right. And we got this white box that opens up. Do you guys have any idea what that could be? Is that the Blade Master guy, Turok? You think?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Turok. Right, because he's the only other one that would be that high up to have any lacquered nails that was there. It was Suroth and him. They were the two leaders. And then I think a couple of the generals, right? But they weren't of the blood, so they wouldn't have had more than one. But so I think it is it. But when I look at it, you kind of like can see it opening. I think that this is one of the Quendalar.
Oh, interesting.
Right, because we know he had, hello. So, I mean, if you read the books, you know he has one. And he realizes it's valuable, but he might not know everything about it. I can't remember. I'd have to read that part in the book. But it was, he has a collection of Quendalar, of different stuff, but he contains one of the seals of Quendalar, and I think that's what that is.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
And it's in that box, or
Yeah. Like if you kind of like fast forward little by little, you can kind of see it opening up, and there's like a little disc that's sitting in the middle.
right, like a small one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I see that. Okay. And then, yeah, I like it. What do you think of his costume design?
It's so over the top, I almost like it, right? Like, it's like, I mean, which is kind of like how the Seanchan are, right? They're like almost over the top, like super pomp, super crazy. Like even Matt talks about it in the last battle. He's like, when he puts on that general suit, he's like, this is like way unnecessary, but it's super comfortable and it makes sense, but it's way unnecessary. That's what I like. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what this is. How unnecessary are these weird, I don't know, talon shoulder pads, right? But I don't know. It's it's so crazy. I almost like it.
Yeah. So here we have a shot of the Suldam with is the Suldam the channeler or the one that holds him? Damane and Suldam, right?
Right. Damane is the prisoner.
Okay. So we got the Suldam with this black, I don't know, is it a mask or just makeup, tattoo maybe?
Yeah, I bet it's a tattoo because you can see.
Yeah.
On her arm there.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool look. Yeah, instead of a bracelet with a chain attached, it's just a bracelet, it seems like. And then you got her channeling the one power at somebody in the next scene, which seems to be like it's Egwene, and you see, what's her name? Queen or Princess Elayne in the back, like running off, like what we saw or read about in the books. So I like, it's kind of a neat scene, using the power to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see Elayne there kind of taking off. Then you got Egwene channeling back while Elayne escapes. We don't see Min. Do you think she'll be here in this sequence?
No, I doubt it.
I don't know what they're doing with Min.
Yeah, there's been like almost no information on that.
Yeah. So, do you think Nynaeve shows up, or is it just Egwene? Because earlier we saw Egwene and or maybe it's late next, but Egwene and Elayne talk. Like, how can we just sit here and do nothing while our friends are in trouble? Right? So is it just those two that come to Falm or are kidnapped by Leandrin, if that's what happens?
Oh, that could be.
And Nynaeve stays behind or does something else maybe? Because I don't think we see her in these Falm sequences.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know.
We see her, Nynaeve, screaming. Horse riders again. White Tower. And was this the same thing that melted the ring from the one that died? The Aes Sedai ring? Is this the same cauldron, or is that, or something else? What do you think?
I don't remember that part.
I do recall that. That looks like something else, honestly.
Okay.
And that's Leandrin, isn't it?
I think so. Looks like it. Yeah. I would say it is. But you see the fire, or at least an orange substance. Because remember
Yeah.
I don't know if when the Aes Sedai died fighting Loghain, they brought the rings back and then melted them.
Right.
They put them in the cauldron. So that's where I got that idea. But what is she doing? What is she melting?
Good question. Huh. Now you got to go back and rewatch. Great.
Yeah. And they're still pushing the story of Swan and Moraine as lovers, which I don't get.
Yeah.
I didn't really feel a chemistry between them in the first season. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Egwene
Kinda
and Nynaeve looks like they're saying goodbye to each other. Yeah, here's that scene with Elayne. What do you think of Elayne? Casting for Elayne and her look.
I think Elayne looks solid.
Yeah, definitely. I like it. So they're talking about how can we just stay here? Moraine and Lan seem to be at each other's throats a lot this trailer. Always yelling at each other. Oh, Aviendha. Right?
Really?
It's got to be, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right there. So the veil.
Oh.
Looks like she's fighting. Looks like she's fighting the Children of the Light, right?
Yeah, the Whitecloaks. We first see her standing there with Perrin, which maybe the Aiel come out of the waste to the borderlands and they meet up with Perrin. Or Perrin was riding the horses, right? Maybe they did that in one of the books. They were riding south, him and Matt, to go to Tyr, and they met up with one Aiel. Right, so maybe this is where they meet Aviendha.
That could be.
But yeah, she's veiling herself here, black veiled ale. She's fighting Whitecloaks here. And with Aviendha, the thing was with them, they were light-skinned, blue eyes, gray eyes, right?
Yeah.
And here that's been changed. She's definitely not white-skinned. And then... Go ahead.
I was going to say, the whole world, they have there's no definition of a race or society in this. They're all...
Yeah, that's a good point.
Everything looks like downtown New York, right? So it doesn't matter where you're from, what kind of heritage you have. It's a mixed bag of everybody.
Yeah.
And, that's... If that's the story they're telling, obviously it doesn't match the books, and that's okay. And so... But that's the story they're telling. That's the story they're telling.
Mm-hmm.
And so.
Okay. And here we got Nynaeve dueling with two other people at the White Tower, it looks like. And I'm wondering if that's Galad and Gawain she's fighting.
Why is she dueling?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm wondering and hoping it's not, but it probably is. The scene where Matt takes on Galad and Gawain and beats them with the quarterstaff. I think it's that type of scenario.
No.
Yeah.
And so they're replacing Matt's prowess with Nynaeve. No, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nynaeve is just a low-key swordmaster.
Yeah.
Like, because that's official wisdom training.
Yeah.
She learns on her off time there.
Yeah. She's been training.
She and Lan kind of.
Yeah. Ever since she started dating Lan, she started getting really good with the sword. I don't know.
Osmosis.
Yeah. So I think that's what that is. Tarvalon. Who do you think this is? Is this Leandrin? With
sneaking around or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of doesn't look like her, but it kind of does. So yeah, it's got to be. Shot of Rand. Okay, we got Egwene coming through the arches cut with some blood on her. I'm assuming, is that Egwene or Nynaeve?
I think that's Nynaeve.
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say because it's so quick. Everything's so quick. And then when you pause it, it's Nynaeve. So we get to see her testing. I like that. Got some potential there. Perrin with some Whitecloaks. Egwene screaming as she has the collar on. This was an interesting part. You got Rand on the wheel. Do you think that's a dream sequence, or is he really tied to the wheel? I don't know.
I bet I don't know.
I think it's a dream
It
sequence.
seems like a dream sequence because
Yeah.
you have he brings it up in his conversation with Swan here. We'll see in a second. And so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But here we have Turok in the Shanchan. He's a blade master. He's got his sword, Heron Mark's sword. He's all armored up.
I like the Shan Chen helmets. Those are kind of cool.
Yeah. I do like their design, their armor. Right before this shot, we had Rand standing there. And I'm assuming he's going to duel him. They're going to duel. That's the way they're portraying it in the trailer. So that'll be cool. I like that. And a lot of quick shots. We see Matt for a second. We see the Faldara castle exploding. Not sure what that's about. Saw someone with a flaming sword. Was that a Murdral or something else?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I did see.
Yeah, it looks like a Midral. I mean, definitely can see a Midral screaming, but is he holding the sword? Is he getting stabbed? I mean, did the creator come down and blow him a kiss? We don't know.
Doesn't Rand, in his initial kind of experiments with the power, use a flaming sword?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I think, what, is it Asmodean that criticizes him for it? Somebody criticizes him for it, saying, you can do so much, why do you use a flaming sword? I'm pretty sure, but it could be Rand.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So Rand meeting with Swan and telling him, hey, you turn the wheel. Any thoughts on that?
I thought it was I liked it because how deep it was and who it was coming from, right? The position of power she contains and the person she's talking to and what she's saying is big. So I think it makes the moment big, right? Like what she's saying itself is not that, thank you. But, because of the gravity of who's saying it and who they're saying it, I thought it was great. I was like, oh, what a great line to say to someone, like basically saying like, look, you're not just like, because the whole time he's like, I'm not going to be, this person with the wheel just, I'm not going to do what it wants me to do and just, blah, blah. And she's saying like, no, like you misunderstand the whole thing. You're not just somebody that's getting moved by the wheel or somebody else. You are what makes it move. Like without you, none of it happens. Like you have to understand that before you can move forward.
Yeah, it's a good points. I think it'll be a key scene. I'm glad if he goes to the tower, which it looks like he obviously does. It's got to mean something, and with this scene, it seems like it's going to mean something.
Yeah.
And then that's it. September 1st, new season. So overall, my thoughts on the trailer: a lot of great stuff, a lot of good visuals, costume design, characters. Character reveals. Little disappointed in Lanfear, like I said. Excited about Elayne. Sean Chan looked great for the most part. We'll see how it goes. I think it'll be similar to last season, where there's a lot of interesting stuff, deviations from the book. I guess can I accept it this time? As long as it's a good story, I think I'll be okay with it.
Yeah, it's kind of where I'm at too. It's as long as I had my expectations too high last season, and now that those have been significantly tampered, right? I feel like I can go and watch it with the notion that I know that this is not going to be anything remotely close to the book, right? And try to enjoy it as just a show.
Yeah. Final thoughts for you, Mark, on the trailer?
For me, this season all comes down to the build-up of one amazing scene. Well, two amazing scenes, right? I want to see the sacrifice of oh gosh, dang it, his name just escaped me. I was thinking of
Ingtar.
Yep, I want to see the Ingtar resolution. I want to see something great there, because that's such a good, point in the book. And I know that they're deviating, but keep something, and the blowing of the horn.
Yeah.
Those, I think for me, I mean, Ingtar, okay, that's like a 50-50, thing. I'm not quite expecting it. I want it to be amazing if they do it. But the blowing of the horn, that scene has got to be amazing. It just has to be, because of how big it is in general to Tarman Gate, right?
Yep.
Totally agree.
Yeah, and we haven't seen Pat and Fane in the trailer, or the horn, which is fine, but
no.
So I wonder how big that of a storyline that'll be.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. Cool. A lot of cool stuff to look forward to. We'll touch bases on the season later on, but we want to thank you guys for joining us here on the 4th of Aaron as we talk about the trailer. We haven't watched any other commentaries or listened to other podcasts about this trailer. I know there's a few out there, so definitely listen to those as well. But these are our thoughts. These are our opinions. It's been just over 24 hours since the trailer came out, so these are just preliminary thoughts and ideas. We'll see how it matches up with when the show is released. So thanks, guys, for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Guys.
Bye.